Silverstone, the venue for the 1985 British Grand Prix, and it's the race that all motorcycle fans from all over Europe have been waiting for all the year. It's the biggest motorcycle race of the year in England, and it draws somewhere in the region of 60 to 80,000 people. And this is what they've all come to see. It's a world of high technology, £1 million sponsorship investment, and all the work of the mechanics behind the scenes, culminating in this weekend's British Grand Prix. It's also a family outing. People bring their kids, and you can even get something to eat on the side. The fanatics are here, and everybody shows an interest. On the other hand, there's also some nice things to look at besides motorbikes. Fast cars and the world of the turbo even exists in motorcycle racing. In 1971, international motorcycle racing returned to Silverstone after a long time. And in 1977, it was the first year it became a world championship race. Between 71 and 77, I enjoyed quite a lot of success. But after 77, it wasn't exactly the same story. There were some really spectacular races at Silverstone, which left me with some fantastic memories, some good and some bad.
Go! And from Woodcote, and look at Barry Sheene doing an absolutely monumental wheelie as the front wheel rears right up and they go down to Cox. That's what. Look at that! Barry Sheene, with absolute effrontery, not only looks over his shoulder, but takes his left clutch hand off the handlebar and waves to Kenny Roberts. And there's Kenny Roberts' answer. Don't you wave at me, young man. This is it. At 130 miles an hour. The checkered flag is out. Kenny Roberts and Barry Sheene is gaining. And there is less than a machine's length in it with a fantastic race. Graham Crosby, Robert Smith, Sheene third, number 2, Marco Lucinelli, 4th, number 3, Randy Mamela is in 5th position, and off goes Graham Crosby, and past him goes Lucinelli. That looks like Barry Sheene off as well. And Middleburg goes into Woodcote corner, and Roberts is closing right up on him. You can see for yourself, it's just like 1979, and there's only going to be about 2 machine lengths in it, but wonderful victory for Jack Middleburg. Down, and there's a fire there. It's Graham Wood who's off again. Graham Wood has fallen off a lot. I can't identify the other fallen rider at the moment. The bike on fire. Will they stop it before they come round? Yes, they will. Superb marshalling. Very good firefighting equipment here. It's Roberts. Kenny Roberts is out of the race.
Hit the bike lane in the track. I slid forward on the bike and compressed the tank, and the tank just exploded.
Roberts into Woodcote for the 23rd and last time. He's tremendously popular with the British crowd. There is an enormous roar of approval, and he wheelies over the line. Randy Mamola, as he passes the tail enders, is under the bridge, is up to Woodcote, is into the last corner, and Randy Mamola gives a sign of victory as he wins the 1984 British Grand Prix.
But a man who hasn't won the British Grand Prix is young Freddie Spencer from Shreveport, Louisiana. Freddie this year has taken the motorcycle world by storm, with his dedication and his incredible riding. To be in the position that he's in the World Championship at the moment is quite incredible. He's riding for the same very well-organised team as he was last year. So what's the big difference for Freddie Spencer between 84 and 85?
I'm in a lot better physical shape. Last year, what happened at Laguna Seca, when I broke my collarbone, I had some trouble with it healing. And I made sure the most important thing to me in the off-season, Barry, was that if I did have an accident or something, I could get back up and keep going. And so the physical conditioning has really made a difference. And it also, I guess it put a spark under me, too, you know, to come back and not only to win the 500, but to win the 250. And I don't want another like last season, another season like last year. I want to always win.
And that he certainly has done. He launched his bid in South Africa to win the 250 and 500cc titles way back in March. He made a perfect start in the 250cc event, leading all the way except for the second of the 28 laps, culminating in a 7-second victory over West Germany's Tony Mann. The 500 race was a different story, with Spencer locked in a great battle with fellow American Eddie Lawson. He dominated early on, but Lawson took the lead in the 8th lap and was never headed. The message from the world champion was clear. Freddie, you're going to have to work for it. There were problems for Franco and Sheene at the start of the warm-up lap in Spain. And another one to suffer was Wayne Gardner, number 7, before fighting back to finish 4th. But once again, it was Freddie Spencer who dominated. All this despite breaking a thumb in a tumble in practice. Spencer's great rival, Eddie Lawson's second place, put the two level in the 500 class. Two weeks later at a wet Hockenheim, it was Spencer again who led for the majority of the race. But a badly worn rear tyre let in Frenchman Christian Saron, number 6, who'd fought his way up from a bad start in 10th position to take the lead in the closing stages. Saron's victory on a Yamaha was to break an American run of 3 successive wins in West Germany. The 4th round in Mugello, Italy was to be the start of an incredible sequence of wins for Spencer on a demanding circuit that saw Italian Balbi crash into the protective tyres early on. He was unharmed. Spencer led from as early as the 2nd lap, the Honda proving to be vastly superior on such a demanding course to Lawson's Yamaha. His 9-second win was shortly to be repeated in the 250 event to give him his first double of the season. Having already won the smaller class in Austria, Spencer found himself locked in a frantic battle with Eddie Lawson in the 500 race. Spencer was holding the world champion when the rain came, and with conditions worsening, the riders, including Lawson, having difficulty maintaining control, the race was eventually stopped. It was a worrying time for Spencer, who knew he would have to work equally hard on the restart, and this time it was Lawson who led to the checkered flag. But when the two times were added together, it was Spencer's race by just 0.03 of a second. He was celebrating again in Yugoslavia, a winner in the 250 race and looking to be the first man ever to win 3 consecutive doubles. But injury after hitting a straw bale in the 500 gave the race to Eddie Lawson. Spencer battled on to finish 2nd. The Dutch Grand Prix would see the worst racing conditions ever seen at Assen. It was American Randy Mamela who led from the start, and in the chase for the lead, disaster struck Spencer as Christian Saron's Yamaha lost grip on the treacherous surface and sent him and the championship leader sliding off the circuit.
You know, of course I was not happy because all I could see there was the hard work to get a 10-point lead, and it was gone. It was a tough thing because it happened, you know, out of my hands.
It's a big mistake because I did something I don't like to do at all. I crashed another rider, and that was Spencer. So I was very scared that it would interfere in the World Championship, but Eddie Lawson crashed, so it didn't so much.
Well, I got in there a little high, and I was offline, and I front wheel touched the white line, and I'm sure you've been there a few times yourself, so I tried to get it back, and I did. I recovered, but by then it was too late. I was offline. I had to go off into the dirt, and that was it.
It was Mamela, having led from the start, who took the checkered flag with Honda teammate Ron Haslam in 2nd place. And Freddie Spencer, well, he had to settle just for the 250.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
The sidecar event in Holland was to remind us that one slight mistake, one lapse of concentration, could have disastrous results. Happily on this occasion, Britain's Steve Webster and Tony Hewitt were not too badly hurt. It was Mamela again who led from the very start of the race in Belgium, as seen from this unique camera angle on the American's bike. But the ever-threatening Spencer was lurking, ready to pounce at any moment. He took the lead even before the end of the 1st lap and was never to be headed.
En tête, Freddie Spencer.
sight of Eddie Lawson and Christian Saron cruising past Mamela must have depressed him. This was clearly not destined to be his day, but Spencer powered on, never to be troubled. To be chased by Lawson, who finished second, and Saron third. As for Mamela, well, his race came to an abrupt halt after touching the bike of Frenchman Raymond Roche. For Spencer, it was his fourth win of the season, and all this preceded by another 250 victory, putting him in an almost unassailable position in that championship. That form was to continue at Le Mans a fortnight later. It was to be a two-man race between the seemingly invincible Spencer and West German Tony Mann. The American's eventual win of 10 seconds means that he pulls 9 points clear to give him the 250 title, probably at Silverstone. For world champion Eddie Lawson, a series of good results were needed for him to retain the title. His start in the 500 race may well have put pay to that. Spencer continued on his way, here with Britain's Ron Haslam and Randy Mamela, totally unperturbed by what was happening around him. Christian Saron goes down when closing on the American at the halfway stage of the race. It was the last serious threat to the man from Louisiana. His 15-second victory over Raymond Roche meant that he was the first man to record 4 doubles in a season in racing history. It's been an outstanding achievement so far, to be in such a position in both classes with competition as strong as it is. What problems has Freddie come up against?
The biggest problem, Barry, has been the problem of getting up and down for each race, like the 250 race being first, getting out there and racing it, and then afterwards having to get right back on the 500, you know, just from the emotional side of it, and being just really sharp. We've been pretty fortunate when it comes to not really having any major problems with the bikes. But physically, I knew that it was going to be tough because I've ridden a lot of classes before. So I was in the best shape that I've ever have been for the start of the season. And it's been just a really good challenge. I'm really glad that I did do it. And that's kept me motivated too.
Freddie set up his home here this weekend, right in the heart of the Silverstone complex, in a motorhome he bought all the way from his home state of Louisiana. It's here that he spends most of his time, relaxing with his girlfriend Sari. He's a man who defies the image of a top-class rider. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, and he's deeply religious. But does he think that his beliefs have helped him in his racing life?
I really do. I think it's always allowed me to have a pretty positive attitude, and to always know that even no matter what happens, that I have a chance. You know, to just basically give me strength in the tough situations, because I know people view it a lot of times, you know, he rides for Honda and this has got maybe the best equipment and all these things, but we struggle like everybody else, you know, which people don't realize. And like in Le Mans, my 250 was the 21st fastest motorcycle out there on the speed gun. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize that, but in a situation like that, when that happens, I still feel when we get on the racetrack, I have a chance of winning. And, you know, and I think that my faith, you know, my religion, the years of it has helped too.
Freddie Spencer's a born natural motorcycle rider. Everything that he does, it seems that he's born to do. He makes the bike and he look as one. His overall control is just quite incredible.
In the 500 class, you have to have a really smooth season, and you have to ride really consistent, and that's what Freddie's able to do. And the 250 riders just can't seem to cope with it. They seem to go really slow and really fast in the race, whereas Freddie sets a pace, keeps that pace, and they just can't seem to stay with it.
I have a lot of respect for Freddie. He's a fantastic rider, you know, and you can't take anything away from him. he's got good equipment, and he's riding well, and the best man will win, and you know, he's there right now, so I don't take anything away from Freddie.
Eddie Lawson's had his fair share of problems this season as well, like the crash in Holland and his bad start in France. Also, his relationship with Giacomo Agostini, his team manager, appears to be a little bit shaky.
Well, you know, we've had our problems, and hopefully, you know, we'll, if we can, you know, try and get them sorted out for next year. If not, then I'll go my own way, and he can go his.
Oh, sounds fair enough. Can't moan at that.
We've gotten off to a slow start, and we're starting to catch up a little bit. And here at Silverstone, you know, it's my favorite track, and it's suited more towards my riding style in the bike. So hopefully we can win this one and get back in the hunt.
Britain's hope in the 500cc class is Ron Haslam. And with Randy Mamela and Wayne Gardner being given the vastly more powerful four-cylinder machines, any chance he had of winning seems now to have gone. Haslam found it difficult to understand why he didn't get the chance.
Being the British Grand Prix, obviously I want to do really well here, because all the fans are here, and I tried earlier to get the four-cylinder, and I heard that Wayne was getting one, so I thought pretty sure I'd be getting one as well. And same say, I tried for it, but I don't know why they get it to Wayne. You know, I thought with me being a British lad at the British Grand Prix, I thought for sure I was going to get it, but now I'm really disappointed.
It's Australian Wayne Gardner's second year in Grand Prix, and the chance to get this machine gives him a real boost.
This is only my second day on the bike, and I've spent all full week of last week on four-strokes, so getting used to the two-strokes again is quite a little bit difficult, but it's come along, and it's a shame it's a bit raining today, so I don't know, I just have to keep plugging away.
As far as this race is concerned here, Hondas have given Wayne Gardner a four-cylinder bike the same as yours, and also Randy Mamela. Now, what's the score? Are there any team orders?
Not really, Barry. From the beginning, they had really decided to do that after they found out that there was a break in Japan and that Abe and Kinoshita didn't need their bikes, and that we basically have done all the development work that we'd planned to. And, you know, Honda wants to make a good showing here. And, of course, if I can win the race and then get in between Eddie, that would be great for me. But it's kind of everybody's out on their own. You know, I don't think that they're not going to go out there and get in a race with me and take a chance to knock me down or anything.
I think if the situation comes along, of course, we'll still help Freddie, you know, because I think it's just being loyal to the company, really. Yeah. I mean, but there's no actual orders to go out and say, hold Eddie up and let Freddie win.
One of Spencer's main rivals in the 250cc class is West Germany's Tony Mang.
My problem is I have a bike in the beginning, 2 weeks before the beginning, and the world champion. And Freddie tested the
all the winter,
all year before the bike. And I think that's the big difference from me to Freddie.
Yeah, it certainly won't be an easy task for Freddie to win the 250cc on the weekend. In practice, Freddie took a tumble at this right-hander here, which is called Cops Corner. He was unhurt, though. Silverstone as a Grand Prix race circuit is one of the better ones. It's very flat and it's very fast. The 500cc's will be lapping at an average speed of around 119 miles an hour, getting up to a top speed of nearly 180 miles an hour. Spencer, in my opinion, is not going to have it all his own way in the 250cc class, because there's a lot of other guys that are going quick. For example, Carlos Lobato. And he's just received a new bike from Japan specially for this race. And judging by his pole position in practice time, I think he's going to be the man to beat. In the 500cc class, Freddie Spencer